Hi everybody, welcome back. Again, my name is Angelica Renaud, and today we're going to be discussing Section 3 of the QuickBooks Online Certification Program to become a certified ProAdvisor. So this one is talking about special client onboarding tasks, and those tasks consist of setting up sales tax, bill payments, time tracking, payroll, customizable forms, and then also client user access. So first off, we're going to start off with sales tax. So this is just a quick way how to get to that. So you would go to taxes, get started. The address needs to be entered, the relevant agency for tax rates. So that's like for, I'm in Tennessee, so that would be Tennessee Department of Revenue would be the actual agency for that. And then we would review and change those rates and then select which reporting period we would want to set it up as. If it's going to be just like a statewide thing, usually that's paid monthly. If it's city sales tax, it's usually quarterly, but you really want to check with your clients and see what that is. So I'm going to actually just demonstrate for you. So we're in, again, one of my clients' pages, but this is an account that they have set up preemptively and they don't have anything in it, so I'm just going to use this as my demonstration. So we are going to start off by going to the tax column over here to the left. So you'll see all of these items. We'll click tax, sales tax. All right, so this is your sales tax portal right here. So we can see the agency is to the Tennessee Department of Revenue. We can see what is listed in there as far as tax. We can do these sales tax settings here where we can actually see the agency. So if they happen to do stuff in Georgia or a city that they needed to report sales tax to, we could add that in here. And we can add, like I already put in here, a city and a rate that was just made up. You can add more rates. So anyway, I'm going to show you how this applies to the invoices. So we're going to go in here to invoicing, select an invoice. We're going to create an invoice. So I already made one, a customer in the last video, and its name was Practice. And we can change up the dates and everything. We'll go over that in more detail later. And we're just going to put homeschooling as the service. And then it automatically populates the rate and the amount. But this is going to be a taxable item for this demonstration. If you were in the products and services from our last video, then you could actually select and make it a taxable item, and then it would automatically populate that this is a taxable item. But we're going to check mark it because yes, that is taxed. And you'll see, let me take it back off. You will see that it's $6.50. But if I make this taxable and I select the location that this is going to be on, let's say they did business in Hickson, which is a city here in Tennessee. If I clicked yes, they did business in Hickson, that would be 7.5% sales tax rate. So that's 49 cents out of the $6.50. So now the total is going to be $6.99. So once we actually get that information going, and it was saved, then over on our sales tax screen, it would populate as 49 cents being part of that sales tax that we have being reported. So that is how we would create sales tax and get that started. All right, so now we're going to talk about payments. So the way that I got to this screen is by going to this gear icon in your client's account. We're going to go to account and settings, and then we're going to click payments. And then we're going to learn how to set up automatic payments, to accept payments through QuickBooks from emailed invoices, mobile, and then we can also set up payment links if we want, but this just makes it so that we can get directly paid. So we're going to click learn more, and we're going to set up how we want to get paid, matched, and get everything reconciled. So that is one option of getting to that. Another option is by going to invoicing, clicking on payment links, and then setting up these payments, getting started. So all of that just basically requires you putting in your information of where you want to get direct deposited, just like how you would whenever you start working with a company, a checking account that you want to get all your money direct deposited to. In this case, it would be your business bank account, and they can automatically have those payments set up. So that's a quick and easy way. And then we have bill pay. So I'm actually going to go to my practice and show you guys how I would set this up, because through that company that I was just on, it doesn't work out very well. So let me go here, and we're going to go to expenses. And from expenses, I'm going to go to new transaction, bill. And I'm going to pick a random company over here. Let's say that Holt sent me a bill that I need to pay. For business consulting. Let's just say that's what that's for. The amount is $150, and that consulting was for whichever customer. We'll get into that later. But down here at this save and schedule payment, if I were to do that, then it takes me to this screen where I can start setting up bill pay. And I can get started by either paying with my bank or using a credit card. You can see that the bank transfer from a debit card is free, but if you use a credit card, there's a 2.9% fee. And then it says here, we'll mail a check on your behalf or deposit funds directly into your vendor's bank at no cost. So we can click continue. I don't want to do that because this is a fake bill and I don't want money to be deducted out of my account for that. So the way that you are going to set up apps for your client is you're going to be in your practice, and up at the top here, you're going to see apps. If you click on that, then you will see this page right here, Get More Done with Apps. So you'll see all of these apps here. You'll see these premium apps. These are the ones that are deeply integrated add-ons for QuickBooks Online Advanced. So these are some ones that are highly recommended. You'll also be able to click on them and see pricing, but this is another one that is popular for even you to use within your own workflow. So there's like these client portals that you can click on and use to manage your own workflow, and it integrates with that. But you can basically search for whatever you want in here and be able to download it, and then you can select which client you would like it to go to. By selecting here, you can actually see what apps your client has. So for one of my clients, they have all kinds of apps set up, and then I have all of my clients set up on Client Hub, which is my client portal. And then you can actually see the firm apps, which are apps directly to me of ones that I have purchased or done. So this one is from a long time ago, but QuickBooks Time is an app that I use. So that is how you find apps and install them for your clients. All right, so now we're going to talk about QuickBooks Online Time and Payroll. Basically, you have the option to give your clients these options for the payroll subscription. So there's the core subscription, premium, and elite. So just like how it is with the regular QuickBooks subscriptions, these are subscriptions that you can offer your clients of what they would actually need. So they might have someone that just is paying contractors. They don't really need like a full service payroll. You can do this core subscription, which includes just doing your 1099 e-file pay. But then they may want a full service payroll, including getting their clients or their employees set up on direct deposit, workers' comp, getting QuickBooks Time integrated with it, or even an elite subscription, which gives 24/7 support and personal HR advising. So to show you just real quick how to get to that. So I'll just do it off of my page. Basically, I can do payroll, do an overview here, and then if I had employees that I needed to enter, I could enter them in. I can also put contractors in there if need be. So basically, I would start adding in my team from the payroll page, and then they can also clock in their time. I believe if I click on time here, it just kind of sends me to another area where I can input my actual time and be able to track, you know, the time that I started. So let me actually launch this in a different tab if it will let me. Let's just show you guys what the actual QuickBooks Time app looks like for T-Sheets. QuickBooks Time and T-Sheets, by the way, are pretty much the same name. Putting in entries, here we go, time entries. I can add some time in here. So time in, time out, I could say, hey, I'm currently working on this. This is the time that I started, but I'm still working on it. I can put whichever customer I want from that list of all of my clients. And then I can put, if I want to bill it, what the actual time zone is, all that good stuff. So let's get back out of this. And that is pretty much how you do it. Save, and then at the end, let me just click save. And so now you'll see this entry here. And basically your clients on a larger scale are going to be able to see that and be able to find out who is working, who isn't, and you can actually set a schedule for them, and so it will kind of remind your employees of whenever they're supposed to be clocked in. It's really cool the way that it's set up. But basically, I'm just here to kind of demonstrate how to get to that point. So that's how you get to QuickBooks Payroll and Time, by just going to these two options here. Easy, easy. So let's talk about customizing forms. I'm going to do it within my own. But basically, you're going to go over to your gear icon, Custom Form Styles. Now, there's the standard one that I have set up for my invoicing. But I can edit the logo, I can change up the template so that way it looks more modern, fresh, airy. I can put some color on there, I can choose different fonts, and then I can put the content in there of what I'd like them to see, and then how I want to make my invoice appear in email. So maybe I want it to look like this, where they just review and pay that, and it has just like, you know, dear so-and-so, here you go. But you can modify it through here, preview it, and then you are able to send that invoice out to whoever you need to send it out to. All right, so the last thing is customizing the user access. All right, so now I'm in a different file of one of my clients, and you can see here that there's two different admins on this account. So there's the primary admin, which obviously is going to be the main go-to, and then you have a regular admin here. Now, it looks like they have access to regular admin activities, but if you wanted to, you could come in here, make them a standard user, or just allow them to be able to see reports only. That way they can't go in and make a bunch of changes, because you may have a user in there. Let's say you have a receptionist that, or you know, someone who handles like taking in your bills, and they're just entering in that information into QuickBooks. You may not want to see them. You may not want them to see certain things within your company, so you can just allow them to be a standard user to enter in certain things, but you don't want them to make certain changes that could actually reflect, you know, hey, maybe they're messing around in the payment link screen and they're trying to modify it to where the money is going straight to them. You never know what's going to happen in certain companies, so you may want to give them restricted access. That is one way in how you do that. You can also see accounting firms in here. You can see me as the math magician, and then here is another one that they just signed up. So those are the two accounting firms, and this is how you can add user access to. This is how you can add an accounting firm for your client. This is how you actually get access if they already have subscription set up and they want to add you. They already have 2 out of 2, but usually you could add this user. You'd have to enter in email, and then that email link would go to you, you'd accept it, and then you would have access into their books. So it's pretty simple and set up that way. So anyways, I hope that y'all enjoyed this video and got something out of it, and we will be discussing section 4 in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.